How are you guys doing today? This is Kevin here from fearlessprogression.com. And today we're going to be tackling a bit of a more serious topic, and that is the topic of bullying. And I'm going to be talking a bit about my experience with bullying when I was a kid and kind of what it did to me, how it's caused me to think now. And we're going to be answering the question of why people bully. Because I think that there is a very practical reason why bullying occurs, and it's actually not to do with the victim at all. It's to do with the bully and their underlying insecurities and how they feel about their own life. So to start this off, I'm going to be talking a bit about my experience with bullying when I was a kid. So as a kid, I was a bit physically under average. I was very short. I was skinny, and I hit puberty very late. So I had a very high pitched voice, and I was one of those kind of small, annoying little kids that would run around and just kind of try and annoy people. Part of it was because I just got a bit insecure about other people like not acknowledging me, not making me feel important. I was often just not acknowledged when it came to picking sports teams at school because of my physical ability. During recess, I was always picked last. People never passed the ball to me when we played like soccer or whatever. Things like that, just those kind of things caused me to feel like I wasn't important enough. I didn't have value to other people. And as a result, I got very defiant, and I started actually, yelling at people a lot, getting angry, even physically hurting some people. It wasn't very good. It wasn't very pretty, and it just caused a lot of drop in self-esteem later down the road in my life. And especially in dating, in other areas like school, I feel like even though I was very smart and intelligent, sometimes I would feel like, if I'm not the smartest kid in the class, then I don't have value at all, which is totally not true. So that's a bit about myself, but we're going to be talking a bit about why bullies bully. And I think, when you're growing up as a kid in elementary school when you're really young, the main reason why this happens and why bullies tend to target other kids is because they're on a search for power in a way and a search for popularity. Popularity is a big thing when you're growing up, and popularity is a way for kids to feel important. And I think as human beings, like we all have a need to feel important and be acknowledged for something. And that's why people go on to do things. Acting careers, things like that. They like doing it, but it's also a way to feel important, to get up on the big stage. People who do public speaking, things like that. People enjoy the praise they get. They enjoy the attention they get, and some people enjoy being in the spotlight. And that's a way for people in school when they're growing up to really get that position of feeling like they're in power and they can get acknowledged by the cool kids for doing something like bullying another kid. So they want to feel important, and this is just a way for kids to find that feeling. And when you're young and naive, you don't know that there's a lot of other ways out there to feel important and to work on yourself and self-development. And when you're at a young age, you just kind of go along with what everyone else is doing, peer pressure, and you just try and follow. You see that those kids are getting more. You see that the popular kids are getting more attention from the girls and from other people. So you have a natural tendency to just try and do what they would approve of, right? So that's what happens. And you may ask, can't they feel important by not putting people down? Like, why do they have to resort to bullying to feel important? And the thing you have to realize is a lot of people who are bullies actually have a lot of underlying insecurities about themselves. They're really just putting on this mask, this outer presence, outer character that involves them picking on people, even though internally they're hurting. They're really hurt by things. And one of the reasons could be that they're actually bullied themselves. A lot of people who are bullied actually become bullies because they the fact that they are bullied, they feel very undervalued and insecure about themselves. And in order to try and get the feeling back of feeling insecure or feeling secure and important, of course, they try and become in a position of power and put other people down. So that's one of the reasons. Another reason could be that they have a very hostile environment back at home. Maybe their parents and their mom and their dad are not giving them the love that they need. Maybe their parents are often fighting and they can't focus on loving their kid. And as a result, the kid could feel, again, undervalued, not important enough, not loved. And those kind of feelings internally can be very rough and leave you feeling alone and leave you feeling unfulfilled and trying to search for that feeling of, getting that status and that popularity and being valued. And again, it's just a feeling of not feeling good enough compared to other people. Maybe the bully doesn't have any hobbies that they're good at. Maybe they haven't discovered enough about things that they enjoy and actually, can take up time in their life. If they don't have these things that occupy them and things that make them feel good about themselves, then they have a tendency to, just focus on other people instead of on themselves, and try and, hurt other people when it's unnecessary. So it all comes back to a lack of internal fulfillment and really missing those feelings of feeling important and feeling valued by other people. And those feelings can be tough when you're a kid. When you're a kid, you don't know that you can give yourself fulfillment, and you can do things like meditating and things that can enforce self-care and self-love. And you don't know that when you're a kid. You're very vulnerable, and you think that other people are the source of who you are and your total life, right? So, people being mean and disrespectful, this is something that is not only occurs when you're a kid. Sometimes even when people are mature, even when people have grown up, there's always going to be people who are mean and disrespectful. And what you have to realize is that this really doesn't have anything to do with you as a victim. It's really the person who's being mean and disrespectful, that they're bothered by something in their own lives. Something is bringing them down. They could be, again, insecure about something. Maybe they're made fun of for the thing that they're actually making fun of you for. If they're calling you short and they're calling you skinny and they're saying you're a loser because of the way you look physically, chances are they also have some insecurities about their physical condition as well. So I mean, you have to realize this, and you can draw those comparisons as well, and it can really open up your eyes to a lot of things. But again, it has nothing to do with the victim, and it can also be a poor control of emotions. When people get in a bad mood, and they have a tendency to get into their bring out all their insecurities and things that they're holding on the inside and really let them out and take it out on other people. It's unfortunate, but we all have swings of emotions, but a lot of people don't know how to control their emotions, and they let them get out of hand. And next thing you know, they're calling people names and having all this. Especially when you grow older, people don't want to blatantly, call people something like a bitch or, a loser or something like that. They don't want to be rude, but what they will do is they'll be passive aggressive about the way they treat other people. They can kind of slip comments underneath very subtly, so you don't realize it's actually being rude, but it still hurts, right? It's still something that affects you. So that's poor control of emotions. And you have to realize again that these bullies are not operating out of logic. They're operating based off their poor quality of emotions, and they're letting their emotions guide how they treat other people, which is unfortunate, but that's unfortunately the way things go. And another thing, these people aren't actually malicious people. You have to remember that. They're just people who are very hurt, very damaged. And that's why I watched a video that Dr. Phil actually did, the great psychologist Dr. Phil, and he was talking about bullying and talking about how a lot of people try and fix bullying by punishing the bullies, making them sit in at recess, blah blah blah, things like that. But that doesn't actually fix the problem, because it just makes the bullies more angry and more internally frustrated and more internally undervalued, and that causes them to continue lashing out on people and continue putting people down. But what you have to do is fix the root of the problem, which is the damage that the bullies feel, the undervaluedness that they feel inside, and the lack of fulfillment that they feel, because that is what's causing them to do what they do. And especially when you're a kid, if you're a bully, you don't have that self-improvement mindset. You don't even know probably why you're bullying in the first place. So you just have to cut down on the root of the problem in that sense. So if you're young and you're in a position where you are being bullied, or even if you're getting targeted when you're older, recognize that it isn't you. You're not the reason why this is happening. It's the person who is actually doing the bullying, and it's the people, who are of course doing the bullying, and people who are getting letting their emotions get the best of them, and that's unfortunate. But that was the moral of this video. I want you guys to realize that, and realize that it's not you. And You can, of course, develop a stronger self-image as a result and realize that you have a lot of potential, a lot of things that are positive about you, and you shouldn't let other people take advantage of that. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please head over to the description and click the link below. You'll be able to view the blog post for this video and check out my website. I have a lot of other awesome articles related to self-esteem and just overall self-improvement. I think they can be very beneficial to you. So until next time, guys, take care.